Welcome to episode 3, Wave Accounting. Now, of course, this is accounting that is based on the cloud, which means we're not really relying on the hard drive of your PC, but using computer resources somewhere else in the internet. Now, it's quite secure, and Wave Accounting does the job quite well of running a comprehensive set of books for a business or any other type of organization. Today in episode 3, we're going to focus on what is really closest to the heart of most entrepreneurs, and that is the ability to set up a customer and send out an invoice. Software does this very well, and of course you have choices. One of the choices that's in front of you is to turn on the payments feature. I personally use this to great effect, and what this is all about is that when you send out an email with your invoice, there's a choice offered to your customer of whether or not they pay by check, or they pay by debit card, or they pay by credit, debit or credit card. All those choices are given to them, and when they make those choices, invariably you will receive the funds in your bank account within 2, if not 3 business days. Works extremely well, so I can do nothing but encourage you to consider that. So how do we go about setting up a customer? Well, first, right now we're in the dashboard of the software, which provides some interesting information. We're going to select sales. You notice all kinds of different options now appear on the screen. Estimates, invoices, recurring invoices, a new feature called checkout, which is in beta testing stage. We'll talk about that later. Payments, customer statements, and there we are. We can set up a customer here, as well as the products and services that you provide to your customer. So let's select customer. We'll notice that we have one customer set up at this time. And so what we want to do is add another. So let's add a customer. So I'm going to pick ZZZ, capital dot ZZZ Enterprises. I'll use my email address. Phone number 306-500-1702. I'll use my name as the contact name. All right, now for an address, I'm going to pick 3046. Now, one thing you may want to consider is putting a phone number here. I know that seems a little odd, but if we're using this as potentially a shipping label, it might be helpful for the person delivering the parcel to have a phone number to call if they can't make the delivery on the first time. It's just something to think about as you're setting it up. It's just one of those little things that it's part of the modern experience of trying to get goods to your customers. So Regina, zip here is 74T, 1H1. And so the country is obviously Canada. Province is Saskatchewan. We want to use it as a shipping address. And one little peculiarity is it needs a name. So I'm going to put Fred Jones here. Shipping contact needs that. Just a quirk of the software. Now you can assign your own account number, maybe the account number of the customer's Purelator account, anything you want. Fax number, mobile number, toll-free number, website, and some internal notes, as well as notes that you have here. For example, again, if you're shipping using Purelator, you may want to put instructions, does not require signature, place in in storage box on the doorstep. People have different instructions, so you can put those here. And we're ready to save a customer. So that's good news. We've got our customer set up. Woohoo! So we are ready to do the invoice. Now the first step we're going to do here is start off with an estimate. Select estimate. And we're going to create an estimate. And what we're going to do here is identify who the customer is. This is going to be ZZZ. All that information is populated. That's good. The dates are in here. We can put some messaging if you want. Usually, the customer does want to have a purchase order number put in so they know that they properly ordered the material. And then we are in a situation, what are we going to do here to tell them what we are selling to them? So what we do is, we can use an existing part number. Let's add a new one ourselves. Add a new product. So let's say we do a management service. We need to assign it to an account in our books. Now remember, in episode 2, we covered the chart of accounts, and so that's where we had set up the accounts that we want to use. And if we're not happy, we can go back to the chart of accounts and add a new account, but I'm for today going to pick sales. Now, we may like that, we may not, it's up to us. And I'm going to put a price here of $100. Description, consulting, per hour. You're going to add a product. Now we have another big choice to make. Do we charge sales taxes? Now you'll notice that we have GST set up. We will in a future episode cover how to set up taxes within the framework of Wave Accounting. So we'll do that. And we'll select that. Now notice what's happened. It's done the calculation for the GST, and it's put a GST number that we had set up previously in this set of books. Again, when we talk about sales taxes as a topic by itself, we will absolutely cover off how you put in your GST number, which is required by law in Canada to be placed on any invoice when you're charging GST. So now we're ready to save this estimate, estimate number 2. Woohoo! So we got this in place. Now, if you wanted to, you could confirm an order by emailing this to your customer if you wished. Sometimes that's very, very useful to do. We want to acknowledge we got your order and we're working on it right away. Now, notice at the very top of this estimate number 2, we have an option called Convert to Invoice. Now, let us say you've accepted the order from the customer. The day has come and you've provided the service that the customer or the product that the customer had ordered. And so now you want to bill them. You don't have to re-enter all this information. It's already in Wave Accounting. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be clicking Convert to an Invoice. You want to convert this estimate to a draft invoice? Yes, we do. So we're going to select Convert. And notice it's done its job. It's created invoice number 2. Now this is a draft. You can preview it, and that's the way it's going to appear to the customer. And you, for example, could print this out and put it in the mail, but the software is set up. You can save and send it by email. So here we go. We're going to select that option. And this is going to be the way the email appears. So I like clicking on these 2 options and saying, thank you for your patronage. And we're ready to, and let's preview that. And that's what the customer is going to be seeing. And they select this option to view the invoice that we just saw. And so if we close this tab, we are ready to send this invoice off. And it's been sent. Woohoo! So there we are. We have successfully set up a customer. We have set them up as an invoice. We have taken the estimate that was set up and we converted it to an invoice, and then we finalized the invoice and we sent it off to the customer by email. And during this process of sending by email, if you have turned on the payments feature of the software, you can successfully have the customer receive that and potentially pay it. And my experience is today, the vast majority of bills are paid this way. Customers prefer receiving an invoice and doing an e-payment. It completely eliminates the need for cash or checks at the time in which the product or service is being delivered. And so they really do like it. I've been astonished how well embraced customers have been with this. And again, if you elect to have this option in the software, you can expect to have the funds in your bank account within 2 to 3 banking days with the normal merchant discount that you could expect with any credit card service. And that's really how Wave Accounting pays for its bills. It's actually a credit card processing company that provides free accounting software. It's also interesting to note that Wave has been recently sold to H&R Block. So it has a long and bright future ahead of it, because obviously H&R Block is very, very interested in having people use the software to prepare for them to have the information ready to go and transferred into H&R Block's tax reporting system. So it can be, for anyone using the software, a very fluid situation where you're entering information, you're finalizing your books, and then the information is readily transferable to H&R Block. That hasn't happened quite yet, but you have a pretty good sense that that's what's coming. So I can close this, and there we are. And this is what we wanted to achieve for episode number 3. Look forward to seeing you again. This is just one in a series of podcasts in which we're going to explore every facet of Wave Accounting step by step.